everybody. On this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty Podcast, we're talking about horror stories from our first year of teaching. We're talking about dyeing our students green, trying to teach during COVID, and losing our students at the Superdome. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
Teacher homies, it's your man KC Mack. Welcome back for another episode of the Teachers Off Duty Podcast, the Board Teachers Comedy Tour Takeover. And it is me, like I said, KC Mack, back in the flesh with my wonderful people.
Were you here in spirit? I'm sick of you in these introductions.
We're actually here.
I know. I'm sorry.
Casey, I freaking love you.
Back in the flesh. You made me think about it like, wait a minute. Did I die and come back?
Was I a ghost last time I was here?
This is the kind of month we've been having. If you've been tuned in, then you definitely know what we've been doing. And again, all month, I have my guy here.
All month I've been here, Tom, Angry Gym Teachers.
Yes.
I've been here all month. It's flown by.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Almost like a matter of like 8 hours or something.
Lots of fun. It's crazy how that works.
Is that crazy?
And Teacher Bestie.
Hey, besties. Honest Teacher Vibes.
Honest Teacher Vibes. And Honest Teacher Vibes never lies when she tells you that the vibes of the Board Teacher Comedy Tour is off the chain. Georgia teachers, we are in Macon tonight. That's right. We're in Macon at the Macon City Auditorium, 7 p.m. There's still tickets. Get your tickets. Because next weekend, guess what else? We're going to be back in the Midwest with my homeboy.
Angry Gym Teacher, that's me.
He was asleep.
That's my cue when he says homeboy.
My cue when he says homeboy.
Homeboy, right here.
And where we going to be at?
Not to be confused with homegirl.
That's right. Just because
we're going to be in Springfield,
teacher
Illinois.
Teacher homies.
Just because they got matching headbands.
Not teacher acquaintances.
That's right.
Teacher homies.
If you show up at a show with a matching headband, Tim, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Do it. Now you gotta do it.
You too. You got headbands. We should
coordinate. If we're on a show together, coordination.
We definitely
should do teachers' headbands. We should do a collab with. I could call my guy. Okay, the junk brands.
I got a guy. I know a guy.
Is that guy in Springfield, Illinois?
No, but we will be in Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah.
The birthplace of President Lincoln and throwing rolls. You were gonna Google that.
It's not. It's in Missouri.
That's not even close.
I'm bad at geography, bro. I teach ELA.
All right, so just Lincoln then. Springfield, Illinois. Then we're going to Dubuque, Iowa, and Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
That's right,
Sheboygan. I love Wisconsin.
We're going to have a good time.
We're going to eat some cheese, drink some New Glarus beer.
Sheboygan.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to Sheboygan, mama. Where you at this weekend? Sheboygan.
Shenanigans in Sheboygan.
And then we're going to finish. That's when we pretty much finish off the We Can't Make This Stuff Up tour. You know, great tour. Toured it around for what? 2.5 years, somewhere around there.
2.5 years.
And had a great time. Great material, great laughs, great comedians that guest starred on the tour with us, you know. But guess what? We have a brand new tour. That's right, a brand new tour, and it's called The Struggle is Real. And we have all new material. You're going to see some new faces. You're going to hear some new jokes. And we're going to some new places. That's right. We're going to be in Montana, Louisiana. Back to my home state, Texas. We're going to be in Missouri. Back to my original home state, Kansas. I have to keep telling Kansas, keep Kansas on the map.
Are they going to fall off if you don't say their name?
You got to keep them on the map, Kansas.
Honestly, I think they might.
Right.
We're going to be in Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore?
All right.
Teachers Off Duty listeners, listen up because you're going to get a chance for our fall shows because they just went on sale this weekend. Not only Baltimore, guess what? We're going to Vancouver, we're going to Honolulu, we're going to Providence, we're going to New Hampshire, Indiana, New York, New Jersey, Boston, Ohio, Illinois, Connecticut, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia. Teachers, get your tickets, man.
It's going to be an amazing time.
And it's always a lot of teachers in the comments like, hey, come here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we missed you.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I named a lot.
If we missed your comment.
And trust me, if you've been to a Bored Teachers comedy tour before, you already know what the experience is like. If you've never been to a Bored Teachers comedy tour, if that's your first time, guess what? You're in for a special treat.
Man.
And speaking of first time, let's talk about these first year teachers
That was
who's
good.
teaching for the first time.
That was a pristine
You like that one?
transition.
That was
that
yeah.
one was
You
thought out.
found a word
I
and you transitioned it.
I thought about
Chef's
it.
That was
kiss.
I'm tired of y'all talking about my transitions.
an
I'm trying to put a little
A+.
work in.
That was an A.
That was an A+.
That was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
We all can relate to this because everybody on this podcast have been a first year teacher
Facts.
at some point
And
in
it
time.
was psychotic.
Yeah. I
I'm
was a
traumatized.
student teacher. I was actually a student teacher 2 times.
What?
Sounds weird. So I did student teaching in college, and then I signed up to teach in a turnaround school in Chicago, and I was a resident teacher for a whole year, which is like a student teacher, but I got paid. It's like being a paid, kind of like being an intern. It's like a
okay.
paid internship. So it's almost
Interesting.
like doing double student teaching.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. And both crazy, like absolutely craziest time of my life, for sure.
So technically the first one though was, so it's the student, you had student teaching.
I
but
had student
your
teaching.
residency type, that was your first year.
That was my first, full year.
But you weren't teaching by yourself? You had a co-teacher?
No, I was working under a mentor teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was interesting.
Not you had 3, she was interesting.
She was interesting.
Do tell.
She was interesting.
He's like,
What can I say safely? She was interesting.
About as much as I'm going to say.
I did not realize how much I did not know. You know?
Yeah.
Like I went into it with this expectations, and an idea of what I
Yeah.
thought it was.
So very different.
Fast forward 9 years later, I realized how much I've grown from that first year and just how much that I learned. And like, damn, like I did not know.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy is I'm not even about to, give the whole pat on the back, because I put in 10, but guess what? There's teachers out there that put in 20
Yeah.
plus, you know
And
what I'm
it's crazy
saying?
because
Yeah.
teaching has changed so much since
Yeah.
they.
And it
since they
changes
started.
every
And
year.
they're still learning.
Continuously.
They're still, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
this is one of those professions that you can never just really say that I know everything there is to
Nah,
know.
It's
you
impossible to
learning.
prepare for, too, until
Yeah.
you
Right.
actually start doing it.
Because I genuinely thought someone was going to come give me a bathroom break.
I
I was so very surprised. I was like, hey, man.
Nope.
Your bladder learned that hard
I ain't
lesson.
learned quick. So I
Yeah.
was like, this is inhumane. I have to pee. I was like, you better hold it. I'm like, for the whole day?
For the
I was so
whole
naive.
day.
I thought I was like, they can't possibly
No.
leave us in here like this without a bathroom break.
I bet you thought
It's
you was gonna
inhumane.
I bet you thought you was gonna get a lunch break too.
That's a joke. And especially people who didn't student teach, because like if you student taught, you might have like realized like, hey, bathroom breaks is kind
Yeah.
of scarce. I did an alternate route program. I didn't student
Me
teach,
too.
so I was like, hey man,
Me too.
we don't get no bathroom breaks around here. You gotta call somebody. I'm like, I'm about
somebody
to
and
pee
then
on
wait.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
then you
like
gotta
you're
wait.
gonna have to call somebody, and it's gonna take them 20 minutes.
As a grown
to come.
adult, you can't just go to the
Yeah,
bathroom when
that
you
was
want
crazy.
to.
That's the thing about the alternative certification program, because I did that too. There was nowhere in none of my my modules or my labs or anything my projects that prepared me for not being able to pee. None of that.
Nothing.
Nothing. They didn't teach me that part.
It's just things that you come into it that you just wouldn't expect. Like, hey, bro, why you got that Chewbacca costume on in the back of my classroom while I'm getting observed?
Right.
Like, what's going on here, man? Like, could you have dressed regular for class during my observation? Like, it's just things that you have this expectation of how things are going to work. And then you get there and they're like, this is mass chaos. And then you learn how to
Yeah.
function in the chaos, but you kind of drowning a little bit.
Yeah,
at
because the
first.
behaviors, nothing prepares you for behaviors, classroom management. I did an undergrad program for teaching, and that was like the one thing that I felt completely unprepared for.
Yeah.
Was classroom management, behaviors. Like, first time a child told me no, I was like, what? Can he do that? Because they prepare you,
Yeah,
they
yep.
have you writing 10-page lesson plans
Thinking the
for a
kids are
20-minute
just
lesson.
compliant, yeah.
They have you being super creative with all these activities
Mm-hmm.
and curriculum, but then they don't teach you how to like actually get the kids
Yeah.
to do this stuff. Oh, by the way, they might not want to do this.
They ain't gonna do it.
And you have to figure out how to make them. And it's
Yeah.
like, how?
Teachers, let me know if this sounds familiar. You roll out of bed on a school day, tired and uninspired. You stare into your closet, wondering what to wear to school. And each morning you think, if I just had more time or more money, I could have a better wardrobe. Well, good news, teacher friends. there is a solution to answer your daily wardrobe woes. It's called Teacher Style Box, the ultimate clothing rental service designed specifically for teachers like you. With Teacher Style Box, you have access to thousands of pieces from over 150 of your favorite brands, and an endless selection of stylish outfits tailored to fit your unique style. And no, Teacher Style Box doesn't only have classy outfits to keep you looking professional in the classroom. It also has a wide selection of comfy and stylish fits for your life outside of the school building. No more endless shopping trips in crowded malls or stressing over what to wear. With Teacher Style Box, you simply browse our collection online, select your favorite pieces to place in your virtual closet, and we deliver them right to your doorstep. You can receive up to 6 items per box. Whew, that's a whole lot of style. And unlike other clothing rental services, Teacher Style Box gives you unlimited box swaps every month. All that ease, choice, and unlimited style starting at just $45 a month. That's less than a pair of jeans. And for all Teacher Off-Duty listeners, Teacher Style Box is offering a special 30-day free trial of unlimited box swaps. Just use code TEACHERSOFFDUTY at teacherstylebox.com. Try an entire month of clothing rental for $0 and see for yourself why teachers everywhere can't get enough of Teacher Style Box. But that is not all. In celebration of Teacher Appreciation Week, Teacher Style Box is giving away 10 3-month subscriptions for free. 0 commitments, 0 money, just 3 months of effortless style on us. To enter yourself and your teacher besties, click the link in the description below. Elevate your wardrobe and simplify your hectic mornings with Teacher Style Box. Sign up for your free trial today. Visit teacherstylebox.com now and use code TEACHERSOFFDUTY. That's TEACHERSOFFDUTY. And don't forget to follow the link below to enter our Teacher Appreciation Week giveaway for your chance to win another 3 months for free.
Most of your first year teaching is just trial and error. Like you figure out, that's why we always tell first year teachers, just get through that first year. Don't make a decision about teaching until you get through that first year. But I would say we used to say that before COVID. After COVID, I'm like, look, you get about 6 months and you like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead
just
and
try to
out.
make it through the first week.
Just get through the first week and see.
The next year we'll be saying, try to make it through the first hour.
It's like all bets are off teaching. Like it is.
It was different. It was a whole new world.
Yeah, it's wild. Like teaching after COVID, it was just wild. And some people were saying like their first year teaching was COVID.
Yeah.
Like they went.
I work
from
with a teacher who her student teaching was during COVID, so her student teaching was virtual, and it's like, how is that preparing you for? That doesn't prepare you for anything.
Right.
And I wonder what grade. Do you know what grade she was?
Elementary phys ed.
That is.
Yeah, like teaching virtual PE classes. Yeah, it's ridiculous as it sounds.
During COVID, we became the first responders.
What? What?
We was the first responders.
I'm waiting on the explanation.
And speaking of first year, is that like a new transition? We already did that.
It's just, I don't know. I just think, because, in education.
Okay.
We had to become the first. Maybe I should have just said the first responders and just left off the first because there's the first responders.
Yeah,
right.
The
the ones we love and respect. Thank you for everything you did for this country during that time. But in education, we were the first.
Yeah, the first ones had to figure out technology and listen, Schoology. Y'all, we still have mental trauma from trying to figure out Schoology, Google Meets.
Yes.
Kids saying
Zoom.
that I submitted the assignment, bro. The document is blank.
Yeah.
The amount of arguments that we had with parents because they'd be like, I just watched my kids submit that. Bro, I'm telling you, I don't know if it got lost on its way to my computer. It's not in there.
We were the first to have to wipe down a desk every 35 minutes. Yeah.
Checking temperatures, checking kids' temperatures as they walk in the building. We had
Getting
to
your
do
temperature
that.
check coming in.
I feel like they told us we couldn't do that.
They're walking in and we have to do the laser thing.
Everybody that came in through the door had to get it.
Yeah.
Even the staff. They were like, boop, boop, and then you had to,
And I remember like when now if a teacher has COVID, they're like, wipe down your stuff, wipe down their stuff. When a teacher, I remember the very first teacher at our school that got COVID after we came back from COVID, man, these folks had on like hazmat suits to clean their classroom. They wouldn't let the kids back in there until like everything. And now, like, it slowly dwindled over time. But I remember them first couple of teachers that got COVID, it was like they had a whole cleaning team come in and clean their whole room. I'm like, well, clean the whole school then, because they touched other spots in the school.
Right. Yep.
We were the first to have to teach through that level of anxiety. Not just what we was dealing with personally, but what the students was dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Because the anxiety of, like, you didn't know, like, it was just such a unknown time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's such an uncertain.
It was scary.
It was scary.
It was a scary time.
But imagine your first year teaching is already scary, but your first year being during COVID,
Yeah.
it's a wrap. We're going ahead and head out.
The first not to wear pants.
You gonna tell me I can just sit at my
Speak for
computer?
yourself. I teach in shorts all the time.
Oh my gosh. Remember that one TikTok me and you did, or we were talking about, no, maybe this was me and you talking about it, but forgetting that your mic wasn't muted and talking crap about people in staff meeting. Miss Richardson, can you mute your mic, please? Can you imagine the first teachers that happened to? Or the teachers that couldn't figure out how to work Google Meets and like random people were just popping into
I do miss the mute
their
button. I'll be honest.
I do, because you can hit mute all.
Mute
They would
all.
all have to stop talking.
Mute all.
The masks help cover our facial expressions, so we
And
don't get in trouble.
and the masks also masked the smell
Yeah.
in the
Little
gym
bit.
during the
Little bit.
gymnastics unit. Yeah.
Not the gymnastics unit.
The gymnastics.
The mat
Kids
stinky?
all rolling around with their shoes off. Yeah, it
Ugh,
stinks.
I can't believe I still let them do
So
that.
the mask is, the mask was handy for that.
There was a first year teacher at our school that, because when you get out of college, you still look really, really young.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they thought she was a student. And actually, I've had this happen to a teacher at my school, but there's another person that sent in a story and said her first year teaching, she didn't have a key card to get in yet. And they wouldn't let the kids in until 7:40, and she was trying to get in, and the teacher wouldn't let her in because she thought she was a student.
She said she had an incredible baby face.
Yeah, she was like trying to explain through the door, like, no, I'm a teacher. And sometimes teachers, we off the rip. If it looked like a student, we ain't talking to you. Until 7:40, don't speak to me. Stay outside. And she was like, I could not get in. She was like, I was late because they would not let me in. They thought I was
That never happened to me in my first year. I think it was probably the mustache.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, you did? Where's your mustache? I just watched a TikTok of you with a mustache.
I've never had much of a baby face. So.
He's like, I've always had this stash.
Yeah.
Gustavo stash.
No, I just need a break from it sometimes.
So you shave it?
Yeah, I just
Need a little breaky break?
I need a
It's
break.
like y'all
from
together
it.
sometimes.
It gets in my food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, he's missing. I'm growing back.
Yeah.
We'll be friends.
It'll
for a
grow
little while.
back.
You look like a first year teacher right now.
Look at this baby face. Look at these baby
Yeah, I
eye
was about to
bags.
say,
Yeah.
You know what? My first year was so funny because I knew the vice principal, right? Because I kind of like came in got referred to by a friend, so I didn't have the initial interview process. You know, it's kind of like they just needed teachers. So it was
yeah,
like,
so
hey,
it's like, come on.
yeah. So it was so funny. So my first day showing up, I already had the job, right?
Which is always a red flag.
Right,
It's like, hey, I do the interview.
right. So, and I never forget the principal came up and introduced, because he was like the first person I met. Me not knowing that this is even the principal.
Right.
I'm thinking he's just a nice teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember, because there's some kind of energy you give to a administrator.
Yeah, when
especially
there's
your
a
boss.
person in authority.
Right,
yeah.
right. You kind of like, you're not, you kind of like
trying
on
to
the
put
edge
on
a little bit. Right,
yeah.
right. I was so cool. I was like, oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm looking for A107. Can you tell me where that's at, man? He said, yeah. And I never forget going to my class and such and such. Oh, I see you met, the principal. I was like, that was
the
him?
principal?
Man, I acted.
He's like, my heart dropped to my stomach.
He's gonna think I was just being so disrespectful.
He's like, oh, he kind of familiar with me. Like, it's like, you don't want to hire me on the spot.
It's like
This
an
ain't a
undercover
warehouse.
boss episode or something.
That was the boss. He looked stressed out like the rest of us.
He had
Right,
such a baby
exactly.
face.
My first year teaching I came in the middle of the school year as a long-term sub, and my kids had hit their teacher in the face with a stapler. She walked out.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was her, because it was her first year teaching, and she quit at the beginning of October. So she made it August, September. She quit at the beginning of October. In August, somebody got to fighting. She tried to break it up. They pushed her into the Promethean board, broke the board.
Oh my God.
And then in September, somebody threw a stapler across the room and it hit her in the face. And so she didn't come back. And I'm like, I can't blame you.
No,
but
not
the
at
first
all.
conversation that I had when I got, don't throw nothing across this room. Because the teacher y'all had ain't the teacher you got right now. And nothing better not hit me in the face. That wasn't even me. I didn't ask the first person to say that wasn't me. It was you.
Yeah.
Because there was no reason for you to say that wasn't even me. Because I don't know y'all. We just met.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you off the rip that was foul. Y'all done broke the Promethean board. You done hit your teacher in the face with a stapler. And she was she had baby face. She was baby face first year teacher. Straight out of college. And just because you have these like high expectations, and in a sense, like teachers, we do change the world. Like we do, you know what I'm saying? We touch the lives of every profession.
We don't change our pants, but we change the world.
That was so random. But we are the profession that teaches all other professions.
Yeah.
And so you have this like sense of like bravado when you come in, and it's like you don't realize like every day you slumming. Like you in the trenches like every day. Some days are better than others. A lot of days you don't see the fruits of your labor like straight off the jump. And nobody especially your first year, you don't realize how emotionally like taxing it is.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
First year teaching for me was like, I've never was able to connect to the story of Icarus until my first year teaching. Like, it was like I had 28 Icaruses.
What is it? Are you talking about the myth Icarus?
Yes.
And
Yes. It's
Okay.
like
Pushing flying too
Yes.
close to the sun.
Every
Got
28 of my students
I
had
understood
the
that
melted,
reference.
feathered wings just
wings.
falling in the ocean.
Like
They didn't listen.
yeah.
It was hard. I didn't know
such an
how,
adjustment.
Right. I didn't know how
Yeah.
to get them to not fly too close to the sun.
That was one of the hardest things for real though. It's because you like when you were like you tell them to do something and they're like no, and
Yeah.
you're like
No,
am I supposed to do
or
this?
complete silence.
yeah, or no
Which I
response.
learned, that was something another thing that shocked me. Once I finally thought I did have their attention and I was reaching them because they were quiet, I was like, oh, they're just quiet. They're still
Yeah,
not
they
hearing
still
what I'm
ain't paying
saying.
attention, right.
So it's like I'm still not there. Like I finally got them quiet. Now I have to figure out how to get them to actually absorb the words that are coming out of my
Right.
mouth.
I think of most principals like they're like, hey, if it's your first year, just keep them alive.
Survive.
Yeah, it's okay it's
Survive.
okay because everybody if you're a good principal, some principals they really hard even on first year teachers like. You know, and some teachers are supposed to have like mentor teachers your first year,
Right.
and they
They don't
don't.
have a good
But
mentor.
again, it's also the education is just where there's a shortage everywhere. And if you do have a mentor teacher, it's like drive-by teaching, like you just throwing because
Right.
they don't have time.
Yeah. They don't
have
They
time to
everybody's already overworked. Everybody already got too much on
Yeah.
their plate. So it's like you learning, you know, as you go. But first year, hey,
To be an
that's
effective mentor, they don't have a lot of that. Yes. they
yeah,
don't.
the first year of teaching is, hey, if you almost at the end of your first year teaching, shout out to you. You did good.
It's
You
going to
did
feel
your
like
best.
that last day when those kids leave, it's going to feel like the biggest sense of relief.
Relief.
It's like a feeling like no other.
You
You
made
know?
it through because I know you know
just
your
finished a
first year
marathon.
teaching. Yeah, your first year teaching, you had days you was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it back up in here.
Yeah.
And to make it to the the end of the school year, especially in the day and time that we teach in now,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just at the COVID again, all bets are off at the COVID.
Yeah.
Like
You know what kicked my butt? Learning how to put in grades.
Ugh.
the systems and all that stuff that they don't taking attendance, learn how to put in grades, getting access to school status, communicating with a parent, your email, being able to know how to put in to take off work, how to have a sub, how to get ready for a sub. I'm like, what the freak? Like there are because like I had worked office jobs before. I was an administrative assistant before I ever became a teacher. And if you come in, even if the previous administrative assistant has quit, if they were a good administrative assistant or they had the place you work at already has structures and procedures, it was like some type of notebook or something to teach you and prepare you to like, you know what I'm saying, be a good administrative assistant. Education, man, whole classroom blank. It ain't nothing in here. There's nothing in here. And there's nobody to ask.
No.
There's nobody to ask.
Who gonna help to help?
Yeah, the grades are due. You don't know how to put
There's
them in?
people to ask about last year's system because they change
Right,
it every year.
'cause it get
And last year's
changed.
You go to
system is
ask
no
somebody and they're like,
longer-
well, I don't know
yeah.
because they just changed it
Yeah,
again. So
and then you get in trouble for stuff you didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, why you didn't put your grades in? Actually, you put your grades in, but you didn't post them. What the hell does that
Right,
mean? I
right.
thought they were automatic. I didn't know it was a post button.
My Chromebook, well, my work laptop, you couldn't see none of my letters because it was just passwords on top of passwords to everything that I had to learn, like all my passwords, just everywhere.
Oh, I thought you were saying the letters they gave you when they were so old. All the letters are paid
Oh,
off.
they were all rubbed off.
I was like, dang.
No, I'm
your
just saying,
school
but it was just
They gave
covered
him a
with
typewriter.
Yeah.
It was just covered with all my passwords I had to remember, like for everything.
Yeah.
Log
there
in,
are
all my
so many
logins. I had to
logins
log
to
in to everything.
everything.
Log in. And I was just so overwhelmed. I was just like, okay.
Learning how to work the technology in the classroom, the
Yes.
projector, connecting your computer to, all this stuff, connecting the document camera.
Yes.
There is so much stuff. But if you were a first year teacher, that Harry Wong First Days of School book, during COVID, we quit telling people about that book because it didn't work. But it still is relevant to it's relevant again because we were not virtual teaching. But Harry Wong First Days of School, really good book as far as like classroom procedures and things that you wouldn't necessarily think about. It helps you think about that. Again, a book can only teach you so much. You have to have real, life experience. But I will say that book is a book that has helped a lot of first year teachers.
Yeah.
So
was there anything in that book by chance about a kindergartner finding a box of condoms next to her auntie's bed?
Nothing like that at
and bringing them
all.
in and blowing them up and popping them like balloons?
Nothing at all.
That was one of the comments on a post.
Never.
She heard a snapping sound coming from the back of the room, and she thought this was a kid playing with balloons, but it was a whole box of condoms. She took the whole box. Yeah.
What grade?
Kindergarten.
Oh my gosh.
Kindergarten.
She was just playing though, right?
Yeah, with the condoms.
She was blowing them up.
Yeah, blowing them up like a balloon.
She was playing it safe.
My first year teaching, I learned to not break up fights because there was a PE teacher. These girls got to fighting in the bleachers. One of them, I don't know why the girl had a fire extinguisher. I don't know. I don't even know where she got it from. But she was finna hit the other girl with it, and he grabbed it.
God.
My school was
It's like
wow.
Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Right.
It's like,
He grabbed it, and the girl pushed him. He fell all the way down the bleachers, and he broke his ankle.
oh
wow.
Oh.
So he left that school, like stat. But
Yeah. Well, you
first
have
of all,
to.
Well, not
breaking
stat.
How
up
do you
broken
come back
ankle.
after that?
He slowly left. He slowly left.
He crawled out of there.
But I get
But
you,
like,
BD.
imagine breaking up a fight on like solid ground and then breaking up a fight up the bleachers.
Oof,
And
no.
then breaking your ankle.
The embarrassment of falling down the bleachers after break, because some kids like they just black out when they get to fighting. They don't know who they just swinging.
I think it'd be funny if he fell down the bleachers, broke his ankle, and as he's laying there, the fire extinguisher hits him in the face.
That would have been. I would have been like, I'm suing.
It's like a scene from Home Alone. Like he's just laying there, and the fire extinguisher. Bonk.
Y'all know
I'm like,
something real
what
quick?
in the world?
I got to take a pause for the cause because I
pause
know
for the cause?
Yes, because we have more stories, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of good ones.
Granted, I bet you these are going to be some very horrific stories. I can just bet you because I have horrific stories. You guys do as well.
For sure, yeah.
But guess what? Do y'all know that there is an anomaly of first year teachers? I actually was able to witness one firsthand, and I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Mr. Hill. That's right, Mr. Hill.
Okay.
Close friend of mine.
Okay.
Love him to death.
Teacher
And-
bestie.
Yeah, one of my
Teacher
teacher
homie.
besties. This is
Teacher
my frat
homie.
brother too. So the funny part is when I was going over preparing for this episode, I was like, trying to think of my horror stories. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Mr. Hill, his first year was gravy.
Really? What?
Let me tell you about it. I wrote them down, and I had to call him and make sure that I got all these accolades that he got. His first year teaching, Mr. Hill won Best First Year Teacher of the Year. He got that. Wait a minute. He got the Red Apple Teacher of the Year. Got that one. He got the Core Content Teacher of the Year.
What are these awards you're talking about?
This is in Texas, but it's big. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm
Did
like,
Mr. Hill make up some of these words?
No.
By chance?
Every time I was watching him win them.
I was watching him win them.
Every
It's like,
assembly.
I'm tenured. I want to trip him while
Every
he's running
assembly,
there.
I'm like, what is he doing?
And the
Yeah.
next award, most handsome teacher. Oh, thank you. Wow, he's just making him up.
He
as
was
goes.
invited to the Compelling Why Conference.
I don't know what
That's
that
a big
is,
thing
but
in Texas.
Texas, y'all be
Yes.
having y'all own stuff in Texas.
But it's his first year.
Yeah. Well, maybe he had a good student. Maybe his student teaching, he had a good mentor teacher.
Yeah.
And some people just be, some people just be excellent out the gate. Like,
He was excellent out the
yeah,
gate.
some people,
Yeah.
like, they genuinely,
It's
like,
possible.
they be excellent out
It's
the gate.
possible. We just hate you.
Teacher
kidding, I'm
associate. What'd you say to shirt? Teacher associate. No teacher homies, no teacher associate.
So, shout out to all those first year teachers who can't really connect to the war stories. We know you're out there.
I don't think they exist.
Punks.
He had some wars. He had that. Nobody gets through first year teaching unscathed.
My first year, I think I aged about at least 5 years.
Got to at minimum.
But I had it coming from both the students and administration. I had a principal who was one of the tough ones, like really like military drill sergeant style. I got pulled into her office to do. So in Illinois, we have the 5 Essentials survey, which is like a school
school
survey that students and teachers and parents get to take. She sat me down at her desk with another first-year teacher, and she told us both, I need you to take this survey now. I need you to do it here with me, and I need you to be favorable.
What?
Yeah. Doesn't that sound like illegal?
Yeah.
Because it probably was.
Tell me what to do.
Right,
you can't
right.
Tell me what
it's
to...
supposed to be an anonymous survey, first of
say
all.
that.
She did.
Be favorable.
She did. They got away with stuff like that. This was like a turnaround school
don't
in
abuse
Chicago.
your
They got away with
power.
tons of stuff. It was an abuse of power. And that's something that
your
can
first year,
happen
you
to a
don't know
lot
what
of
to
first year
do.
exactly
Yeah,
because
it's
you
a
don't know
person
how
in
to stand up for
authority.
yourself.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Now I will say that is a thing about first year teachers learning how to stand up for themselves
Yep.
because sometimes people
and
are
learning how to
mean-
say no.
Yes, sometimes people are so mean to them. I'm like, hey, you are a teacher just like they are. You are not a kid. You ain't in college no more. Don't let these folks talk to you like that.
Right.
You have a right to tell y'all coworkers, and you got a right to tell any coworker, do not speak to me like that.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're tenured. I don't care if they're a veteran teacher. You ain't no child. You a grown adult with bills. Anybody else that's a grown adult with bills can't talk to me crazy.
My whole first year, I don't think I went home at the end of my contract hours like a single day. Like I stayed late like every single day
I
because I
did
thought
too, all the time.
that's
I
what
thought
was
that was what
expected.
you
Yeah,
said.
Like,
yeah. You're supposed to do that.
It's a learned skill to work your contract hours. It's and people get mad at first year teachers because they stay after and they're like, why you need to leave? I don't work after my contracted hours. I'm like, bro, you learn to do that.
Right.
They gotta learn to
You
do that.
you gotta get comfortable
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
You know what I didn't get comfortable with?
Boomer over
My
here.
first year, and even as I left 10 years later, not being able to flunk a kid.
You can't flunk a kid.
No, but you didn't know. Now think about
but
that
you're
as a
also-
first year teacher.
First year teachers, you have to have the documentation. Now, I will say, I understand. I'm not saying we shouldn't fail kids, but I understand once I heard like the data side of that kids, if you fail kids in middle school, they are less likely to graduate from high school if they fail in middle school. Some kids, there's no way not to fail. If you literally come to class all 180 days and you don't do any work or you're absent every day, there's literally no data for, like, there's nothing for us to pass you. There's literally gaping cases where you can't, there's no way you're going to pass. So at that point, you automatically have the documentation because they're absent all the time, or when they're in class, you got work from them that has nothing completed. You've pulled them to try to get them to do the work. You've contacted parents. Those are obviously extreme cases. They do fail those kids. Even it doesn't matter if they're sped. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter as long as their IEP is being followed. But it's very rare that a sped very rare that you fail a sped student. But I've also seen the data of,
If you have a kid that's goofing off, you know what I'm saying, is not taking school serious, doesn't even like school, period, you know, I acknowledge the kids that can turn around, but there's also a percentage of kids that just don't like school,
right.
you know?
Right.
So I don't think it's an injustice whether if they flunk in the middle school versus the high, they
But
might
that's
even
what I'm
get
saying.
to that point.
That's what I'm saying. They
You
don't.
know?
They're showing that the data shows that, but they're saying we're looking at the data. That don't mean they're not gonna fail.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
okay, I see what you're
heck
saying.
no.
Okay, I see
Oh
what
my
you're saying.
gosh,
Okay,
no.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
saying we're looking at the
Okay.
we are once
about to say that
once
data is
that
trash.
once that information was presented to me, it helped me understand a little bit more why specific kids don't fail. But on the other end of the spectrum, it didn't mean they weren't failing anybody, because that's impossible. You cannot come to school and do no work. But it's like the level of work that we were expecting them to do, and they didn't do it. You would think they would fail, and it's like, nope, they did 20% of the work. They ain't
Right.
gonna fail.
Now, and then here's the thing too. I'm very empathic. So if I could be real, I never wanted to fail any kid. I don't care. I'm just like that. One, I don't want to do all that extra work. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest.
And trying to do all that paperwork.
But to respects to
Because
the
you have
other,
to have some serious documentation to fail a student.
in respects to the other teachers, and I'm kind of like at that moment I was kind of like speaking for them from an empathic point of view, because I do know there's some teachers that really feel strongly about that. I wanted to kind of be their voice too, because it's easy to be on one end of the so I wanted to say that for those educators out there who feel like we should be able to do something. Me personally, I don't want to smoke.
You don't want to smoke?
I don't want to work. It's
The
not.
good thing about middle school,
Don't pay
though,
me enough
is
for that.
the good thing about middle school is that if a kid will show the same consistent behavior across the board. So like if they're failing, history, math, English, and they're failing all their core classes and failing PE, they ain't going nowhere. You repeating that. Now, if they're failing just math, but their other classes, they're skating by with a 60-something or 65 with a D. But the kid, I'm thinking of specific kids that we have failed in the past. They were collectively failing all of their classes because they refused to do any work.
Do y'all do social promotion in your
I have
state?
no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is either, but
What is it?
That's where
I don't know what most of the
they
stuff
won't
is.
allow you. They won't allow you to flunk just
talking
based
about-
off because they want them to be able
I
to
can't even
keep up
get
with their
B's.
peers.
What do you mean?
So they don't want like a 15-year-old in 8th grade.
Now they do that.
You see what I'm saying?
They will
Yeah.
do that.
They're
They'll
just-
push a kid.
yeah.
Because at that point they
Yeah.
failed multiple times. Like
Right.
at that point, it's every year they're failing. So at that point they do push them. They have
Right.
no choice.
Right.
You can't be 15 in the 6th grade. They're
Right.
gonna push
Right.
you to
Right.
the next grade.
So I always just wondered, do all states do that? Is that like a thing, or is that just like in certain states?
I
like-
think it's one of those things where they have to, but it's one of those like unwritten
I think
rules.
it's like a mercy
what
thing
else are we
almost,
gonna
yeah.
do? Right. It's like
Well,
what
they could
else are we
probably
gonna do?
Refer them to what, an alternative education program? Or something
Not that's
like
what I'm
that?
saying. Not for middle school.
Really?
They just gonna like if you in
Yeah, you're right. I've
if
never
you're
seen
in
it. I've
fifth
seen it in high
grade-
school, but I've never seen it in middle
high
school.
school is different, but if you're in 5th grade, because I done seen a 17-year-old freshman or sophomore before, but I've never seen a 15-year-old 6th grader.
Right.
They're not going to allow that. They just push you
Right.
on because it's like, what can you do? But at that
Right.
point, I think they do identify them like as they refer them for like an IEP to figure out if they have a learning disability or something like that. So then, because at that point, there is something more going on.
Right.
Like if you just
Facts.
at that point, they ain't just being lazy. They got a learning loss, or they reading at a certain level.
They're not being that kid. No
And-
15-year-old
and hold on,
wants to
and-
still be.
Right, no
yeah,
15-year-old want to stay up in the
Wait a
6th
minute.
grade.
And if you only caught that when he turned 15 and you didn't catch that 3 years ago, that's on that
But
school.
maybe they had but the work is different. That test from 5th grade to 6th grade changes drastically. The state test that they take in 5th grade, and once they jump, the 5th grade test is like, you know what I'm saying, what color shirt was Timmy riding when he was riding his bike down the street? The 6th grade test is how does Timmy's shirt impact the tone and mood of the overall text? Like what? The language
I don't
in
even
itself.
know what that means.
The language, and that's why the state test questions are hard.
I'm just
Adults,
like,
we
who's
don't know
Timmy?
what- Who is Timmy? My main focus is who is Timmy and why is he wearing a blue shirt outside? Like I know that's what my focus is. But there are, it's one of those things. Grading and passing and failing, that kind of stuff. I wish they would give. I wish it wasn't such a gray area for first year teachers
Right.
because
Yeah.
you come in trying to like figure out what is my authority, what is my plate, like what is,
Right.
and if you have a kid that, because I never knew about the like if you the documentation. I didn't understand how important documentation was. Nobody told me. So there's some first year teachers, they probably try to fail a kid and they're like, well, did you contact the parents 2 times and do X,
Right.
Y, Z?
Right.
Oh, they know I had to do that.
Right.
Well, you can't fail them. So then they end up passing because at the end of the school year, you tried to fail them and realized that you couldn't. Even though they've been going home with F's on their report card, you didn't do your documentation.
I talked a lot of first year teachers out from going through that process because they thought that they had to do that process. Because as a first year teacher, they thought that was just a part of the job.
They
And
thought what was a part of the job?
going through, like, it was mandatory that they had to, and I get that's the process, but you don't, you have discretion, sir.
Right. You can right.
You can offer that kid any kind of grade to substitute for that assignment and give them
Right.
a grade based off of that.
Right.
You don't have to
Right.
do it. You know what I'm saying?
And the state tested subjects, they don't teach you. You don't have, because I think we thought, before we became teachers, we thought that our teachers graded everything for accuracy. sometimes when a kid is practicing a skill, I'm not going to grade you for accuracy because I'm grading it for completion, because why am I going to give you a bad grade on something I just taught you? I'm trying to measure to see what you know. On the test, we grade for accuracy. The practice, kids are going to be scared to practice if I'm getting an F on the practice when I just learned this information. So nobody taught. That's something that I had to learn, because I'm like grading everything by hand. They like, hey bro, what you doing? And I'm like, I'm grading my kids' work.
Everything is being graded on formal assessments.
Yeah, they're like, you have 115 kids. Like, you'll be grading papers forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything.
And so there's a way, So speaking of assessments, like the formative and summative assessment, nobody teaches you. They're throwing out all this like teacher jargon, especially those of us that did an alternate route program.
Yeah, I didn't know none of that.
I ain't got a clue what you're talking about. You said something about DOK levels and question stems. What the hell is that? And I had to learn what that, and I would sit in staff meeting or sit in ELA meetings, and I felt so stupid because I felt like I was supposed to know what that was, and I didn't. I have a sports medicine degree. I did an alternate route program. They weren't talking about no DOK levels.
Right.
And so it's okay. Like, as a first year teacher, it's okay to ask questions. Nobody is expecting you to know all this stuff.
Yeah.
If you teach at a somewhat decent school,
The
they
worst
expect
thing you can
not to
do is
know it.
like pretend you understand.
Yeah, don't do
if
it.
you don't understand, ask
questions.
all the questions.
Not at staff meeting, no.
Right.
Well, not
Not at the end of staff
at the
meeting.
end of the
Send
staff
an
meeting.
email.
Yeah, shut your mouth. But before that point,
You can ask
all the
questions.
questions. Yeah.
Before then, ask all the questions.
You know, there's a lot of teachers that suffer from imposter
Why do you
syndrome.
say it like that, bro? So ridiculous, man. There
Listen
are
to
a lot
that.
of teachers that suffer from.
Yeah.
I think we all did. All first year
that's
teachers.
all, yeah.
Because you feel like you're playing adult. Like, you're like, I'm trying to.
Right.
Yeah,
Or play a
like,
teacher.
are you
Yeah.
even a teacher if you don't constantly question yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time I'm
Constantly
in front
learning.
of students talking, there's like a voice in my head going, they don't care about this. You're not.
Right.
This isn't they're not listening right
Are
now.
you
Like,
really
it's,
doing what you're supposed to do? Are you really
I
checking
got
all the
other
boxes?
voices saying
and
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I need to pee. I'm hungry. Nobody teaches you about not leaving food at school. Or
Oh.
like not leaving food to eat later at school. This teacher
Oh,
said
yeah.
that she used to keep a box of cereal in her classroom because she would eat it with her yogurt when she brought it.
Wow.
And she poured her cereal out one day to put her cereal in her yogurt, and a mouse came out.
Ugh.
I
Oh.
would have. So needless to say, she never ate. She didn't leave her stuff at school. Any open
Ugh.
food at school
No.
anymore.
Yeah, you
but
can't
these
do
public
that.
schools got rats, roaches, and rodents. Like, and I'm not talking about the kids.
What if she kept all her food at school because she had a rodent problem at her home and she thought she was playing it safe, keeping it?
she was just bringing the rodents to school one at a time.
It's like,
to get 'em
you're
out of
the
the house.
culprit. You are bringing the
She's-
rodents.
She's transporting them out.
That's hilarious.
The technology thing used to have me stressed out because they would come in for observation, and for some reason my projector would stop working as soon as they came in for an observation, and I hadn't learned how to, like, I'm already hyperventilating because I didn't like for people to watch me because I just wasn't used to that.
Right.
Most people, nobody comes in to watch them do their job. But when you're a teacher, your principal, people are coming in to, watch you do
and
your
take
job.
notes.
And so, and take notes, like, what you writing on that clipboard back there?
Or
like,
they'll go around and talk to the students while you're teaching.
the ones that have no idea what's going
yeah.
on.
So
Yeah,
first
it's
year
hard.
teachers. Here, listen to this first year teacher. This first year teacher said that he or she accidentally dyed her pre-K kids green for trying to play the green rice at their sensory table.
Oh, yeah, that rice gets everywhere.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And
Aren't they little green hands going home?
right.
Yeah.
But she said the
died.
parents was really cool. She said
Oh,
they
okay.
laughed it off, and she apologized profusely. But
It's like, why your
she
hands
said,
green?
they
I like how
they
she
was pretty
said,
cool with it.
I accidentally dyed the students green. Like, she didn't just say
I
hands.
ain't dyed their
Because
hands.
it's pre-K. The whole.
They got it
their whole-
everywhere.
It's
She's
everywhere.
like, they
It's
got
all
their
green.
faces green.
But
Yeah.
you know what?
All a bunch of little hulks.
All was forgiven because this was a first year teacher and she was green herself.
There you go. There you go. Wow, I hate you. I want to go. I want to get up and leave.
The teacher associate shirt is for you.
Yes, the teacher
he said that
associate.
with conviction.
The teacher acquaintance.
Because he thought you was finna say something. He's like, they themselves are green. I hate you, bro. Why would you say that?
All first year teachers
You're
are
messing
green,
up the
man.
conversation.
We don't know nothing, man.
It's not the rice. It's,
That was comedy genius.
oh
At
my
its
God.
best.
Tom is irritated. Tom is irritated. Tom is ready to go.
He said, oh my God.
Tom is ready to go. With genuine conviction.
I'm getting the resting cop face is coming out. I'm just like,
Oh, man. Oh,
I feel bad for
geez.
this teacher that lost that kid at the Superdome.
Yeah.
So this first year teacher said she took a group of kids to a basketball game at the Superdome, and when it's time for them to dismiss, she had lost a student. And she said that when she was looking for the student, she said when she finally found him, she was crying harder than the student was. And she was free. But there were 10,000 of them.
The Superdome.
Yeah, y'all took
That's
10,000,
quite a
the
place to
mayor
lose
and
a
10,000
student.
kids. I was crying harder than he was when we found him an hour later. Casey's
Field
still
trips
crying, laughing.
Sounds stressful. I've never been on a field trip. I never get
I've
invited on
never
field
been on a field
trips.
trip.
I always get left behind.
Tom is going to have to swap seats with me.
Shit, oh my God. I
Casey's
hate you.
still, Casey's still crying, laughing. Yeah, I don't like to take them outside for a fire drill. I'm like, I don't want to go outside of school with you. I'm not going
That's
anywhere.
whenever there's a fire drill, you go outside, you count the students.
Yeah.
And then you act like, oh, I have them all.
I didn't actually
Even though you
count all of
forgot
y'all.
to count them before.
But it's too much mass chaos because, like,
Yeah.
the fire drill happened in the middle of a lesson.
Where
They
are they
all
going to
popped
go?
up.
They're probably all
I
here.
mean, somebody go snatch
they're all
one, but
Learning how, this one that I really wanted to talk about, because it's
Which one?
like a lot of us can relate to like our first year learning how to, like we've talked about in previous episodes, you can't say balls. There's certain
Yeah,
things
yeah,
you just
yeah.
can't say. So this teacher, she said she wanted the students to take out a clean piece of paper, but she mixed up her words and ended up saying, please take out a piece of sheet. Because she messed up sheet and piece of paper, sheet of paper, piece of paper. She said, please take out a piece of sheet.
and with the
And she says only 2 students were really listening.
oh,
And the
only
3
two
of them were laughing so hard that they were crying basically.
Please
But
take
that's
out a-
like something that's relatable. Like when I was in 4th grade, we had a teacher. It wasn't her first year, but she was pretty young. Can't remember. It was my 4th grade math teacher. But a student was like getting on her nerves, not turning in an assignment, taking his time, dragging his feet. You know how 4th graders do. And he kept saying, "Just a sec, give me a sec." And she goes, "No, I've given you enough secs."
That's an honest mistake.
Yes.
That's an honest mistake. 'Cause
but
that was like a
imagine-
snapback immediately. Like you're
In front of
I've
4th
given
graders.
you
Imagine
that
saying
total
that.
anarchy
I
and chaos.
gave you enough sex.
S
Total
sec, like give me a
anarchy.
sec.
Like
S-E-C.
SEC.
She's plural. I've given you enough.
Whole class lost their minds. I'm sorry? What'd she say?
can't-
Because we weren't listening.
You can't
and then
do that.
you ask a kid what she say and they repeat
You
it.
can't say that.
Total chaos.
Can't do that. That's a piece of sheet thing to say. You can't
Definitely.
say that.
Nobody prepares you for stuff like
Definitely a
that
piece
Andy's
of
Coming
shit.
challenge. Remember when
Ooh,
they used
Andy's
to do
Coming. Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
gonna lie. The first time I seen them kids do the Andy's challenge, I was like, hey, that's kind of funny. They did it to a sub. I feel bad for the sub. But a kid walked by, because they knew to do it in the subs class. Kid walked by and said, Andy's coming. Whole class fell on the floor. She was like, what is going get up now? Them jokers would not move. I'm talking about not a muscle. I'm talking about coordinated effort. So y'all can work together when y'all want to.
I know teachers who use Andy's Coming as like an attention getter. Like
Hey.
it's like your cue to be quiet and be still. Like Andy's coming. Okay, it's like a fun way
These
of
kids
saying.
all
It's a fun
fell
way
out.
of saying shut up to a group of kids.
Sixth graders don't know how to, like, they fell out their arms hitting desks.
Well, they're a
and
little
all
old
kind of
for
stuff.
Andy's Coming. I feel like.
Was that
I'll take it.
was that a first year
12-year-old?
sub?
I don't know, but maybe she was new. I don't know, but we had to call. We had 6 principals. 3 of them had to go up there because them kids would not. There was like 30 of them. They would not get up. Other teachers came by and was like, "Get up, y'all." They would.
So who was
not.
Andy?
From Toy Story?
I know that. So to make the kids get up, was Andy the
Some
teacher?
random kid from another class.
So when they left, then the kids would get up.
I think Andy's the
wouldn't just-
teacher
they
because
just wouldn't do it.
the other kid says Andy's coming.
Right.
And they all go limp.
I've
And then the
never
teacher
seen-
walks in. I think
Right.
the teacher's Andy.
Right.
I've never seen them. They'll just yell it, but nobody's coming. They'll just like a
Well,
kid.
then how
from
do
a-
they get up? Are
That's
they
what I'm
laying there
saying.
for all
A
8
kid
periods
from-
of the day?
No, that's what I'm saying. A kid from another class will just walk by trolling the class when they know there's a sub in there, and they'll say Andy's coming, and they'll all just fall
so
down
it's a
on the
prank
floor.
to play on
it's
the
a
sub.
prank to
It's
play on
for
the
the
sub.
sub.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when
Yeah.
the sub leaves, the kids will get up.
Yeah.
They
It
wouldn't
has
get
to.
up. They won't get up. That's what I'm saying. Y'all not playing right because you're supposed to get up when
Right.
Andy leaves, but
Right. That's what I'm saying.
there's no Andy. They're just using it as an excuse to fall out on the floor and not get up.
Man.
They wouldn't get up until all 3 of those principals came up there. Because you imagine calling the parents of all 30 kids in that class.
Yeah.
All y'all getting in trouble. They're like, it's a collective
Substitutes.
effort.
don't get paid enough.
Oh, 1,000%
Yeah.
don't get paid enough.
Especially first year subs.
During COVID, they was getting paid a little more than some teachers though.
True.
Like during COVID, some states they was paying more than
I know
teachers
we
was
pay
getting
our
paid.
associate subs very good.
What's an associate sub?
They're like, they have their teacher certificate, but they just still come in and sub. They don't.
Oh, so they're certified teachers, but they want to sub. Okay. Are they long term subs?
Yeah, they can be,
Okay.
depending on the.
Because in Mississippi, you have to long term.
But my whole thing is, if you go to long term sub, you're not getting the benefits and everything.
But some people they don't.
Just be a
Some
regular
people they
teacher.
don't want to though, because a long term sub position might be a month, and they're like, but some long term sub positions are, a whole semester.
Yeah.
But some long term sub positions are a month. So
Well,
anyway,
first year teachers,
Hang in there.
that's it.
Or
That's
don't.
it.
Or just, know your
Leave.
limits.
I don't
Just
know.
go.
I know your limits.
That's
Just
it.
go.
That's all. That's
Just
it.
go.
You don't have to do this.
It's okay if you don't make it.
It's okay.
It's okay if you
It's
leave.
okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay. That's
Get
a
It's
good
help.
hard.
thing. Yeah.
Get help.
Not
find-
get
Put
help.
that on a shirt. It's okay not to be
I
okay.
think
Yeah.
it's on a lot of shirts.
Is that
'cause
too
that's
depressing
like-
for a shirt?
No, I think it's on a lot of things.
Okay.
It's okay
All
not
right.
to be
Yeah,
okay.
I never claimed to be the author of that, but I am the author of letting you educators know
I'm
that
so tired of you. And
we love you, we need you, and we hope that this episode didn't discourage a lot of teachers who are on the fence about becoming a first year teacher. Please, your presence is definitely needed and welcome in this wonderful profession. Until next time.
Did you just Mr. Rogers the end of our episode?
I was thinking Mr. Rogers or like NPR over here.
That did sound like NPR. Just Mr. Rogers, NPR, the end of our episode.
It's been another wonderful episode of the Teachers Off Duty Podcast. I have been KC Mack.
Tom Filline, Angry Gym Teacher.
Bri,
Signing off.
Honest Teacher Vibes.
And real talk. No, seriously, man, we love y'all, man. Thank y'all
We
for
do
listening
love y'all.
every week. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for sending us in your stories. Thank y'all for purchasing tickets to the Board Teachers Comedy Tour to see us live in person. Thank you for following me, Tom, Bri. Follow the Board Teachers Comedy Tour. Follow Board Teachers as a whole. Follow
As a whole.
the Teachers Off Duty Podcast. Just follow. Just
Follow everybody.
Follow, man. It's
Everybody.
a good thing. But no, we love you, and we'll see you
Next
sitting
time.
near you.
Bye, best friends.
Bye-bye.